Happy Friday, everybody. We have a ton of news to cover leading into the weekend. Some stories that I wasn't able to cover yesterday, and then a bunch of other stuff that we got to talk about. Some things that I need to do some follow-ups on. We got some stuff, regarding the immigration and customs enforcement stuff that we have going on. News from D.C. We have Trump deploying 4,000 Marines. A lot of stuff to cover. All of that and more here in just a moment. Thank you, guys. 1 second.
To the absurd, we're dishing out the latest word. What's new, Tyler? Today news, hot takes and breaking views. Every story, something new. Stay tuned, we'll see it through. From the coffee shop to city streets, we chase the buzz where the world beats. Rain or shine, we're on the case, giving news a wilder face. What's new, Tyler? Today news, hot takes and breaking views. Something new, stay tuned, we'll see it through. Politics to panda bears, sports and weather everywhere. Our team's got the scoop so fine. Tyler's news is headline prime. What's new, Tyler? Today news, hot takes and breaking views. Every story, something new. Stay tuned, we'll see it through. We'll see it through.
All right. I think we've waited long enough. I think everyone is ready to start the show. You always want to give that extra few minutes for notifications to get sent out and all that stuff. I want to make sure people are here and ready to listen to the news. So anyway, what do I have for you guys today? What did I find while looking around the internet for news and stuff today? What did I find? Well, we're going to talk about this first story here. This first story is from the Post Millennial. It says, new Trump to deploy 4,000 Marines around the Latin American waters to combat cartels. Oh, did I not transition the... Whoops, I didn't click the transition button. Here you go. Here you guys go. So here's the article. So yeah, Trump's to deploy 4,000 Marines around the Latin American waters directly to combat the cartel. This is directly because of the cartels. So the Trump administration will be deploying an additional 4,000 Marines from the U.S. military in the waters around Latin America in order to combat the drug cartels. This is a new report according to CNN. So, citing two U.S. defense officials, the outlet reported that the move is part of a broader mission to ready military assets to target the drug cartels. A third person familiar with the plans told the outlet the additional military assets are aimed at addressing threats to U.S. national security from specially designated narco-terrorist organizations in the region. So my opinion on this, guys, is obviously I'm in full support. If you guys have been watching for the past few months, you know that I'm in full support of war against Mexico and the cartels. And I say Mexico and the cartels because Mexico would be aiding them in this. Mexico's already said that they're on the side of the cartels, essentially. They don't want us to help. They want us to help, but not really. They just want to make it look like they're letting us help, but they don't really want to. If things actually start popping off, I wouldn't be surprised if the Mexican government sides with the cartels. So that's why I say Mexico and the cartels, but I'm absolutely in support of this. I reported, what was it, earlier this week, or possibly even last week, that Donald Trump had just signed, I think it was earlier this week, he had just signed a memo. Oh, geez. Just turned up the volume on my mic. Blew my eardrums out. He just signed a memo to the Pentagon saying basically to ready military military targets over in Mexico and the cartels, and not just Mexico. They're looking to target all of these cartels in all over South America. So it's not just going to be Mexico. I've talked about this. If they're looking to uproot the cartels, it's going to be a lot more than Mexico that we have to go into. Mexico, yes, is the big one because that's where they launch everything into the United States. But if we are to actually get rid of the cartels, you got to go into South America too. So this is included in the deployment of the JIMA Amphibious Ready Group, ARG, and the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, reporting to the U.S. Southern Command. The effort has reportedly been underway for the past 3 weeks. A P-8 Poseidon reconnaissance aircraft, nuclear-powered submarine, multiple destroyers, and guided missile cruisers are also being allocated to the U.S. Southern Command as part of the effort. One of the officials told the outlet that the buildup of the military assets is meant to show the force of the U.S. military rather than the targeting of the cartels. However, having the military assets at the ready allows for more options if Trump orders military action to take place. Absolutely, yeah, it's not only just a show of force, but we also want to be prepared for when things pop off here. I've long said that the cartels are stronger than some governments, like actual governments of legitimate countries. The cartels are more powerful than some countries, so we cannot take them lightly, and we absolutely should be staging military equipment because we're going to be ready. We need to be ready for combat with them. An official from the Marines told the outlet that a Marine Expeditionary Unit, MEU, stands ready to execute lawful orders and support the combatant commanders in the needs that are requested of them. A memo from the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth earlier this year instructed the Pentagon to seal our borders, repel forms of invasion, including unlawful mass migration, narcotics trafficking, human smuggling and trafficking, and other criminal activities, and deport illegal aliens in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. Last week, it was reported by the New York Times that Trump signed a directive for the Pentagon to start using military force against some drug cartels in Latin America. So that's the article there. So yeah, we are actively. I mean, just look at the pattern here, guys. We started the year with designating them as terrorist organizations. We've been looking for mass deportations, looking into mass deportations. Mass deportations are being carried out to some degree. Some would argue that it's not being carried out to the extent that we want, but it is a lot more than we've seen in the past, 6, 7, 8 years. So we're doing better in that regard. The border has been sealed off in many ways. There's not nearly as many people coming across the border. If you just look at the news, it's all heading in the direction of we're sealing off our border, we're going to start kicking people out that shouldn't have been here, and we're going to start combating the cartels directly. It's been long overdue. These cartels have been just getting more and more powerful every year. You look at how much money they earned during the pandemic, and it's absolutely disgusting to think how many people were hurt by them making that much money. Like, they made billions, if not trillions of dollars during COVID. So they absolutely have a vast amount of wealth to combat us. And they are hiring ex-military from other governments. What was it? Colombia just had a war, and Mexico just arrested a bunch of Colombian militants that were hired by the cartel. Like, the cartels are hiring military, and they have military equipment. They have RPGs and all kinds of stuff. They have armored vehicles. So it's something that's not going to be easy, but it's something that we absolutely have to do because it's an actual threat on our border. It's a terroristic threat on our border. We talk about all these other countries in the Middle East that actively want to hurt us. We literally have an enemy terrorist group on our border that actively wants to hurt us for profit. So let's target them. All I hear is based, more based, even more based AF, and stay fucking based, bitches. Thank you, killing it. I'm here to annoy an ish post. I'm all out of ish post. There you go. Well, guys, make sure you subscribe to YouTube as well. Thank you guys for supporting the channel today. I appreciate you guys hanging out. We're gonna move on to the next story. I think I got my rant in here. Conquer Mexico. I am in favor of that. Honestly, if Donald Trump came out tomorrow and was like, look, we're going to take everything from California, Texas, and downward all the way to the Panama Canal, I'd be like, shh, all right, cool. Sounds good to me. That's me personally, though. I know, it's a little warmongerish, right? I'm not a big fan of war, but I'm not a fan of foreign wars. I'm all for wars on our soil, and I consider Mexico our soil. It's a part of us. It's attached to us. It's ours. It's rightfully ours. All this talk about the illegals coming over here, and then they're like, "Oh, we stole the land." Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. I don't care. It's my land now, and I'm gonna take the rest of it. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move to this other stories I got here. I got some other interesting stories. Like I said earlier in the beginning, I have actually some follow-ups to some stories, so I want to move to this follow-up. But before I do, let's read some of y'all's chats. How you guys doing today? I see Rambo in the chat. Monster Mangler's coming in. Killing it since Shitty Gov. What's up, guys? How's it going? Hell yeah, TTN gets it too. Who is TTN? Wait, how did you at TTN? I don't have an account. Okay, interesting. I don't know how you tagged TTN in the chat. What war would take Mexico in like a week? I don't know. I don't know about that, Guido. It would really depend the extent at which we're willing to go. Because yes, I agree. If we, there was nothing holding us back, and we were just like, we're taking Mexico, any means necessary. Yes, they would be like a week. But if we were going to just go in, do tactical strikes, and try to like build up infrastructure, like the approach needs to be very precise, and it's not going to be a week. And we would call it a police action. I mean, really, it is. It's practice to conquer Mexico. Our leaders are so retarded that war without conquest is now pointless, in my opinion, anyway. Tyler, Today News. How you not gonna recognize your own show, my man? Yes, I recognize my own show, guy. I know TTN. What I'm saying is I'm confused at how you were able to tag it, because that's not what that's not what the channel name is. So I don't know who TTN is. I don't know who the account is. Whoever has the account that you tagged. I don't know who that is. So I'm doing good. Trying to figure out a strategic Costco run for tomorrow. Well, there you go. Well, speaking of going to the grocery store, let's move to this next story. Now, that's a perfect segue. If you guys know anything about me, I'm known for my beautiful segues. Now, this is an update to a story. This is from about, a little over a week ago. 16 in custody after immigration raided LA Home Depot, DHS says. So, immigration raids have been ongoing throughout LA, and this one picked up a little bit more traction than the other ones because the Department of Homeland Security officials took in 16 individuals into custody on Wednesday morning during an immigration raid at the Los Angeles Home Depot, territory that federal authorities say is in the grip of the notorious MS-13 gang. The operation happened around 7 a.m. in MacArthur Park, area of Los Angeles, as DHS officials burst onto the scene from the back of the Penske trucks. Migrants began scattering from the parking lot, according to video from the scene. So now some of you may remember this video. I talked about how just completely ineffective this is to actually stop illegals, to actually catch illegals. I was complaining about how they could have gone about this in a much more discreet way, which is interesting because they were trying to be discreet with this. They had gotten a Penske, or however you say it, Penske truck, a moving truck, and they were trying to, obfuscate what they were actually doing. And they could have gone about it in a lot better way. So here's the video that I shared previously. We'll share it again. That was loud. So here they are. Yeah, look, all slowly getting out. That guy's booking it. That guy was in front. He's booking it. So, yeah, so this is what this comes from. The raid happened near the site of immigration raids last month. The Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass came to the scene to ask federal agents to leave. Here's a video of them, rounding some people up, getting them onto the truck. Really good, really good. Overall, good police work. Like I said, I feel like they could have done it in a better way, but they're just trying to get photo shoots and stuff like that. They're trying to advertise this, make it look cool for the public to see, because a lot of people are upset that people are getting rounded up. So they're trying to have some good publicity on it. But yeah, so overall, we don't need to rehash this too much. That's basically the story here. But we have an update today to this story. So let's play this video again. Well, you notice here when they open, right? Listen. Okay, so you can like hardly hear it at the end there. I'm not gonna play it again because I don't want to blow my eardrums up. But go find Matt Finn FNC on Twitter. I guess he has the video. You can hear people start yelling ICE, ICE. Immigration, immigration. People start booking it. People start booking it. People start panicking. And what happens? What happens when people start panicking? If I were to go inside a building and yell fire in a building, whether there's a fire or not, right? Let's say there is a fire, because in this case, this guy's yelling ice. There's actually ice in the area. Let's say I go into a building, there's actually a fire happening, and I'm like, fire, fire, and people start panicking. Well, what happens when people panic? Dumb things happen. Follow up to this story, the reason I'm bringing it up today is because we now have this, again, reporting from Fox News. Man struck and killed on freeway while fleeing immigration agents during Home Depot raid. So from that raid that I just showed you guys, where they jumped out of the Penske truck. They caused such a panic with that people started fleeing, and this guy, I've already read the whole article. I could read it for you guys, but this guy, he heard someone yell out, ICE, immigration, customs enforcement, like they're yelling it out, giving a warning. This guy abandoned his daughter at the Home Depot, booked it, ran, ends up hopping a wall, hops this wall, runs down this hill into the freeway, gets struck by oncoming traffic. They're not sending their best, people. They're not sending their best. Like, this is what Trump means when they're not sending their best. Like, we don't even know the immigration status of this guy. He could be a legal citizen. We don't. It actually, Fox News even says we don't know at this time. It's likely that he wasn't illegal, considering the reaction he had to ICE. But what was it worth it? You now have a daughter that doesn't have a father. When you could still be alive, you could have just gone back to another country. Like, that's the alternative. You rather die than go back to Mexico or El Salvador or Venezuela, wherever. You rather die. You rather get struck by a car. It's insane. It would be kind of funny if he was legal. If he was legal, this would be even more ironic. Oh no, that poor person's car, right? Got to deal with some illegal immigrant fleeing law enforcement. You're just trying to commute to work. Because keep in mind, this is 7 in the morning. This happened at 7 in the morning. That truck opened up at 7 in the morning. 7 in the morning, you're just trying to get to work. All of a sudden, illegal hits the you just plow right into him on the freeway. Out of nowhere. I actually feel bad for the guy that hit him. Because you got to think about that, too. Think about the stress of dealing with that. Like, holy crap, I killed a dude because the guy decided to make the decision of fleeing from law enforcement and going across a busy freeway. Like, that's not the person who hit him. It's fault. It's not his fault. So, man died in California after being struck by a vehicle on the 210 freeway while trying to flee an immigration enforcement operation at Home Depot, officials said. The fatal incident unfolded Thursday morning in Monrovia, a city outside of Los Angeles, after police received reports of immigration agents approaching the Home Depot. Monrovia city manager Dylan Fike told the Los Angeles Times. A day laborer who frequents the location in search of work said to the newspaper that people started yelling, "Immigration, run!" One man then fled the store on foot, jumped over a concrete wall, and entered the eastbound lanes on the 210 freeway. According to the Los Angeles Times, the newspaper reported that a few minutes later, Monrovia Fire and Rescue responded to a call of a vehicle striking a pedestrian. That individual was taken to the hospital and succumbed to his injuries. It's just tragic, man. I mean, it goes on to say here, the Department of Homeland Security told Fox News Digital this individual was not being pursued by DHS law enforcement. He wasn't even in a foot pursuit. Literally, he just panicked and started running. He literally just started running. He wasn't even being pursued. And it goes on to say, it'll say here in just a moment, that ICE concluded their operations and didn't know till hours later that this individual had been struck by a car. Because they weren't even after him. They weren't after no one was after him. We don't know their legal status. We were not aware of this incident or notified by California Highway Patrol until hours after operations in the area had concluded, a spokesperson had added. I mean, come on. Monrovia resident Karen Suarez told the Los Angeles Times that she went to the Home Depot and found the daughter of the man visibly very upset. I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad for the families. These are people trying to escape whatever horrible atrocities they come from for a better life. A crowd of about 50 people later gathered in front of the Home Depot last night, waving Mexican flags and holding signs that said ICE out of LA. The Los Angeles Times also reported. So, Fox giving a little bit of a bias there. Is what it is, but, this guy would still be alive if he had just walked away without a panic. Like, just think about that. Think about how much of a target you're putting on your back when you start panicking and fleeing from law enforcement. If law enforcement's in an area and they're looking for people that have just committed crimes, and they're looking at a guy who just starts booking it because law enforcement just pulled up, who are they going for first? They're going to go for the guy that's booking it. So, in all situations, whether the cops are wrong or not, comply and stay calm. That's all you can do. That's all you can do, because law enforcement has a lot more power than you do in a lot of these situations. So whether or not law enforcement is in the right or in the wrong, just stay calm, just comply, and hopefully it works out for you. But if you start resisting and you start running and panicking and all this other crap, making it more difficult on the cop, you're going to make it more difficult on yourself. It is what it is. And like I said, at the start of this, it's like yelling fire in a crowded building. When ice pulls up, don't start yelling ice, ice. Oh, ice, there's ice in the area. No, dude, you're going to cause a panic. You're going to cause someone to run out into traffic and get hit by a car, causing a little girl to be without a father. So don't be yelling crap like this. Running draws more attention. Absolutely. I have been watching videos for years and never heard of levels before. Never heard of points either. What do you mean, Rambo? Never heard of that before. Oh, points. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, it's the stream bot. I have the stream bot. I see what you guys are talking about. What year was Escape from LA set again? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Get good or don't do crime. Pretty simple. Yeah, you would think. You would think it'd be pretty simple, but evidently it is not. It is not so simple for some people. What do you do? What do you do? Let me know what you guys think, because, I mean, look, if I was in this exact situation, let's just say I was an illegal, and I was in another country, and I was just trying to stay under the radar, immigration customs enforcement pull up to where I'm at, what I'm doing is staying calm and walking away. Staying calm and leaving the area. I'm not running, not causing a panic, not yelling, not saying anything. Not saying anything. I'm literally just going to turn around and walk away. Because I'm just saying from me personally. And then let's say ICE is on to me, then you just be like, all right, is what it is. I'm not fighting with cops. I'm not running into traffic. It's just this low IQ move. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not great to talk about the deceased in such a way, but it really is just a low IQ move. Let's see, what are you guys saying in the chat? What are you guys saying? Good movie. Yes, Escape from LA. I have heard that it's a good movie. I've never watched it. He was obviously not in the left lane because the left lane is for crime. See, Guido gets it. Guido gets it. If they run, it makes things more exciting. Moving targets are more fun. I mean, Killing It Sense has a point there. He does have a point. And Guido, you do have a point too, because the left lane is absolutely for crime. If anyone has ever been in California, you know that you need to stay out of the left lane because that's for people going over 90. That's it. I don't make the rules, okay? Neither does California. California doesn't make the rules. Society does. Society made that rule. We have a saying here in California, okay? They can't pull over all of us. They can't. Speed limit here is 60. I don't think I ever go 60 on the freeway. Does anyone go 60, 65 on the freeway? No. Every single time I go to LA, everyone's cruising at 80. 80, 90. And I can be cruising at 85 and get passed by someone who was just riding my ass. Like, that's how bad it is in California with driving. Either move over or get ran off the road. Really. Those are your options. Let's see. Do I have any decent ads for you guys today? Ooh, I got one about gaming chairs. Let's do one about gaming chairs. I like talking about gaming. Gaming's always fun. I'll do an ad about gaming chairs. Let's see. Is the ad actually popping up? Yes, it is. What kind of ad am I talking about? Well, this ad is for if you're looking for a comfortable but unique option for your gaming setup. You can go and check out TechniSportUSA.com with a wide range of ergonomic chairs and an array of colors that you will definitely bring your setup to the next level. It is always comfy, never boring. TechniSport. Use code RUMBLE for 10% off your entire order. That is TechniSportUSA.com, code RUMBLE. So there you go. If you guys are in the market for a new gaming chair, I think last time I brought this one up, I was talking about how I'm probably going to need a new chair sometime around the end of the year. So maybe I'll look into it. I got this one not that long ago, but the armrest, they fold up, and it's already fallen apart. It's unfortunate. Is what it is, though. You know what else it is what it is? It is what it is, because I'm going to talk about these stories from yesterday that I wanted to talk about, but we didn't get to them. 80, 85 miles per hour on the interstate? Yeah, it is the minimum speed limit. You must go. Yep, I'm from California. I am glad I left. That's fair. Tyler, where's my free hunting fishing cooler? Sick of shitty gov. I never agreed to that, sir. How about this, sick of shitty gov? That's what we'll do for 1,000 followers. When I hit 1,000 followers, we'll do a giveaway for you for the fishing cooler from that other ad. There we go. Ooh, we have Grim in the YouTube chat. Fear can make people do stupid things. I guess so, man. It really can. It really can. This guy must have been absolutely terrified to make a decision like that. To run into freeway traffic. You must have been terrified. Anyway, I want to talk about these stories because we were talking about them yesterday. As long as I get the cooler, I guess I'll allow it. Well, okay, so we just got to rig it is what you're saying. Anyway, we're going to move on to these stories. I was talking a little bit about these yesterday before Joey had to go, but we're going to go ahead and talk about them a bit more today. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see everything. So we have this. This is also in LA. 11 suspected gang members arrested in sex trafficking ring along Figueroa corridor in South LA. Let's just watch this video here.
Aired from a loudspeaker and with a drone high above this home on Scarsdale Street in Riverside, agents moved in on the ground, detaining multiple people inside the home, but ultimately arresting this man, 22-year-old Matthew Brooks. But this wasn't an isolated incident, but rather a large-scale operation, with the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing charges against 11 suspected gang members in all, facing charges for an alleged sex trafficking.
I wonder if they purposefully picked the photos of them with just an array of cash, or if, like, those are just the best photos they could find of each of them. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if, like, they purposefully picked all of the videos, all the pictures of them holding wads of cash, or if this is just happens to be the best images of each and every one of them. Sorry. This is a serious story. I shouldn't be laughing. It's just, I like to make humor out of things. I apologize.
Trafficking operation that spanned the Figueroa corridor of Los Angeles.
The allegations in the indictment are horrendous. We're talking about women and children as young as 14 years old being pimped out for sex in these motels, and they were kidnapping them, they were drugging them, they were beating them, they were raping them.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley said many of the suspects are pimps, recruiting their victims through social media and then branding them with tattoos of their street names. According to the indictment, the suspects would intimidate and threaten their alleged victims, forcing them to find Johns to have sex with, often multiple times per evening, and forcing them to pay a large portion of that money back to the suspects. In one incident, the indictment alleged that 3 of the suspects tried to kidnap 2 victims and force them into their car. Those victims were able to get away. As for Brooks, the suspect from Riverside, the indictment accuses him of stabbing one alleged victim with a pair of scissors, yanking out her earrings until she bled, and on multiple occasions, beating her and locking her in a bedroom with no escape route.
Anyone who's engaged in this behavior, we're coming for you. You may think you're above the law or out of the reach of the law. You're not. And just like these individuals had a wake-up call this morning, your door could be next. And we got more of these cases coming.
Damn, that's a nice neighborhood, too.
And according to the indictment, some of the...
Your door could be next.
That's not a low-income neighborhood. I mean, these guys were making money. These are not cheap houses. These are nicer than a lot of the houses in the area I live. And I'm that's not to say I live in a wealthy area. I'm just saying, like, because I don't live in a wealthy house or wealthy area. I'm just saying, like, the wealthy parts of where I live, even those wealthy areas wouldn't compare to this. So, like, what the heck, you know? If I can get just one in the chat, I'll go to the gym. Yeah, everyone put 1 in the chat. 1's in the chat to make Killing It go to the gym. 1 in the chat. Got to give him that encouragement. Give him that encouragement, guys. Go to the gym, Killing It. I believe in you. You got this, man. It'll feel great. You know it will. Hope I can renew my membership after my birthday. There you go. Yeah, 1's in the chat, boys. 1's in the chat. Gotta give Killing It that encouragement. But anyway, back to the story here. So it says 11 suspected gang members are facing federal charges for allegedly participating in a massive sex trafficking ring along the South Los Angeles corridor. The prosecutors announced on Wednesday. So big win for the DOJ. There's a couple of stories we're going to be talking about about this, but overarching point in this that I want to bring up. I don't need to read it. We played the video. It basically is just rehashing what was said in the video. People like this, I mean, prison is supposed to be for rehabilitation, which the United States prison system currently is not set up to do that. Can people like this be rehabilitated? That's my question for this story and the next two stories. Can individuals like this be rehabilitated? Can they be retaught? Can they be shown manners? Can they be shown respect? Can they be shown human decency? Can they change their ways? Is ultimately what I'm asking. And if the answer is no, then you just put them in prison for the rest of their life. There's no 20 years and they get out. 15 years they get out. 20 years they get out. 40 years even they get out. No. A lot of these guys are in their 20s. They get 40, 50, even 60 years. I don't want them on the street at 60. I don't want them on the street at 70. I don't want them on the street at 80 or 90. I don't want them on the street. Period. I just don't want them on the street. People like this, if they cannot be rehabilitated, people that commit crimes like this, you're committing... Let's talk about the crimes they committed, right? You're beating women. It doesn't even have to be a sex thing. You're beating people. You're trying to kidnap people. You're stabbing people, forcing them into, sexual favors, all kinds of things. You're branding them, physically branding them with your name as a tattoo. Imagine that, right? Like I said with Joey yesterday, imagine that. You get abused. You're getting abused by this person just day in, day out. Sexual abuse, all kinds of abuse. And then to top it all off, even if you get away from him, they have you branded so that you have their name, the name of your abuser on you at all times. No. I mean, people like that are so sick, twisted, and demented that I don't think they can be rehabilitated. No one died in this situation. But they should spend the rest of their lives in prison. Absolutely. You can't rehabilitate people like this. I'm sorry if that's not how other people feel, but prison for life or just capital punishment. That's where I'm at with people like this. I'm sick of it. It's disgusting. We're going to move to another story similar to this. So this story and the next two that I'm about to pull up are all massive wins from the Department of Justice. I really love to see our government actually putting criminals behind bars. We have this from Fox. The DOJ to charge 5 alleged Mexican cartel leaders touts extraordinary police work that led to the indictments. A senior DOJ official said a hit-and-run case in Tennessee from 2019 has led to an international takedown of cartel members. Let's read. The Department of Justice announced on Thursday it brought criminal. Okay. The Department of Justice announced on Thursday it brought criminal charges against 5 fugitives who are allegedly senior leaders of the United Cartels, a designated foreign terrorist organization and involved in a massive drug distribution network. DOJ Criminal Division Head Matthew Goletti said the indictments marked a significant step in the DOJ's mission to eradicate the organization and came as a result of extraordinary police work. The investigation began in a small town in Middle America and led to a clandestine methamphetamine laboratory in Michoacan, Mexico. I don't speak foreign languages. Sorry, guys. This case demonstrates our relentless pursuit of cartel leaders who flood our communities with illegal drugs and terrorize citizens on both sides of our borders with violence. So it says the really interesting part about this case is that the investigation, how it unfolded, from a local town in Tennessee all the way to an international takedown, and we wanted to give you a little bit of detail about that. So let's hear the detail. I want the details. Where are the details? The case started as a regional hit-and-run incident involving 2 people in Rockwood, Tennessee. The police discovered the pair were methamphetamine dealers, and through investigative work, they were led to a vast narcotic distribution network in the Atlanta area. After a series of actions, including conducting surveillance outside a hotel, engaging in a high-speed shootout, and executing search warrants in Georgia, they eventually discovered what totaled to be 950 kilograms of methamphetamine. Phones were seized during the operation, allowed investigators to make the connection to Michoacan. The key thing about this case is that actually quite well demonstrates the perils of what's going on and these high-level narco-terrorists abroad and the impacts of that it has on the local communities and on our streets. The shootout involved a man named Cody Seals, who was sentenced last year to 30 years in prison for conspiring to distribute illicit drugs and attempting to murder 2 Tennessee Highway Patrol officers. One of the troopers was wounded in the leg, while Seals was shot in the head and survived. Wow, that's miraculous. Police discovered more than 1 kilogram of methamphetamine in Seals' vehicle at the time. The Trump administration took a whole-of-government approach to addressing the United Cartels. In addition to the indictments unveiled Thursday, the Treasury Department announced economic sanctions against several of the alleged leaders, and the department announced $26 million in rewards for information leading to the arrest of the 5 defendants, who remain at large. The 5 men have allegedly been involved in decades-long conspiracy to manufacture and distribute methamphetamine, cocaine, and fentanyl, including into the United States. They face drug trafficking, firearm charges that carry maximum penalties of life in prison. Today's charges are designated to dismantle the United Cartels and bring their leaders to justice for unleashing death and destruction on American citizens. Absolutely really cool story. So, again, this all started in Tennessee with a hit-and-run case. And through the investigation in that hit and run, it just kept evolving and getting further and further into it until now they know the leaders of this cartel and they're seeking charges and indictments on them. Absolutely amazing. Love it. I love to see it. And this just goes to show that we are going after the cartels. This is another story, like I was saying earlier. If you just look at the pattern that is unfolding in front of us, the pattern shows we're going after the cartels. The cartels' days are numbered. Absolutely. And I love it. Love to see it. From here, we have yet another story, another big win for the Department of Justice. 5 Indian hotel operators have now been charged with using minors to run drug and sex trafficking rings out of Nebraska. Guys, it's all over the place. These are issues all over the place. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Nebraska announced on Thursday that 5 people have been arrested and charged in connection with the human trafficking ring in the Omaha metro area. A total of 10 minors were rescued, as well as 17 adult victims. So 27 victims in total were rescued. In the morning hours of August 12th, federal search warrant were carried out at the America Inn, the Inn, and the New Victorian, all in Omaha, as well as the Roadway Inn in nearby Bellevue. Per U.S. Attorney for the District of Nebraska, Leslie Woods, a total of 14 warrants were carried out at area businesses, with the rest of the businesses being brow and lash salons in the area. Those arrested were 36-year-old Kantaku Chadhari. So basically four members of the Chadhari family. I'm assuming they're related because they have the last name. And then 42-year-old Rashmi Ajit Samani. So he is the 5th one. So 4 members of the Chadhari family and someone else with the last name Samani. So, a bunch of people that probably shouldn't be here in the first place. That center around their alleged conspiracy to engage in labor trafficking, sex trafficking, and harboring of aliens at several hotels located across the Omaha metro area. So not only were they doing all sorts of trafficking with drugs and people, but they were also harboring illegal aliens, it seems like. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing to see. I'm glad that we have a government actually doing investigative work again. I'm glad to see the federal government going into these places and tackling these disgusting people, the absolute bottom scum of society. It's great. I love to see it. During the operation, law enforcement officers rescued 10 minors from an alleged labor trafficking conspiracy that involved putting children under the age of 12 years old to work at hotels for long hours with little to no pay. 17 adult victims were also rescued from the same conspiracy. The office said that the victims were subjected to exploitative conditions while being required to pay the defendants for their long lodging at the hotels, which were described as unclean, unsafe, and unhealthy. One source working with the government entered a hotel room where immigrant victims were sleeping on the floor of the room with cockroaches crawling on the victims as they slept. That's disgusting. So yeah, absolutely massive win for the Department of Justice. I hope all of these guys, again, people like this, you don't let them back into society. People like this, people that were helping facilitate this, you don't let them back into society. There's no rehabilitation for a person like this that does this kind of thing. There just isn't. I refuse to believe there is. Yes, hello, T-Bone. Is that my friend? Hello, Tyler? Yes, it is me. Hello, it is Tyler. It is me, Tyler. Hello. We got T-Bone in the chat. Got killing it. He's putting up a big W. What are you putting that W for? WW dot? Anyway. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat before I move on. Let's see. They could put in new Alcatraz with Anthony Fauci. PDF files are sexual predators. I don't think of them as getting banged as a deterrent for them. If anything, it may excite them. Yikes. Extreme isolation or a brutal death is what is best. Perhaps. Let's see. I can't read everything. Why does this hurt so much? Tyler, is this how you feel about CA? I don't want degenerates in my state. Yeah, you talking about Nebraska? I'm sorry, man. I cannot stand this ish. Those retards in Omaha cry about illegals getting sent home, but won't say an effing thing about this. Yeah, and literally the people that were helping harbor those illegals were abusing children and all kinds of terrible things. Careful, Tyler. Chat got spicy. Yeah, I don't want to read all of that. For winners, winning. That's it. Just glass Omaha. I'll allow it. We can get the few patriots and Christians out there that are still there. I'm not supportive of that, but anyway. Well, so since we're still talking about immigration, I think it'd be a good time to move to this story. What do you guys think? Should we move to this story? I think this one's interesting. W for getting to save children, minors from evil people. That is a big W. Big W for the Department of Justice. Big W, saving people and children from absolutely disgusting and evil people. Thank you to the government for actually doing work. It's not often that you can thank the government for things. But you got to thank them when they've earned it. You can thank them, okay? Thank you to the government for some of the recent things you've done. It's been nice. Overall, terrible. You fucking suck. But you've done some nice things lately. It's okay. Some of the things you did are okay. Anywho, let's actually talk about what I want to talk about. What am I going to talk about? What are we talking about? Let's talk about this from the Associated Press. A judge has ordered RFK Jr.'s health department to stop sharing Medicaid data with deportation officials. No, the illegals receiving taxpayer-funded medical insurance. No, don't turn their information over. No, don't do it. Why would we do that? I mean, this is just, it's a ridiculous story. We absolutely should be doing this. We should be giving over the information of Medicaid recipients to ICE if the recipients aren't legal citizens. If they're not legal citizens, they shouldn't be on Medicaid in the first place. But I'll make the argument that they're allowed to be on Medicaid so long as Medicaid is allowed to send that information to ICE. You're allowed to go get your insurance, your free health insurance or whatever. But, things might happen. Things might change. There's something in my background that keeps appearing. What is appearing in my background? I don't know what. There's something over here that keeps appearing. I don't know what it is. It's fine. It's whatever. There's a thing behind me. I don't know. Did I fix it? I think I fixed it mostly. Anyway. Okay, let's talk about this story. So judge orders RFK Jr.'s health department to stop sharing Medicaid data with deportation officials. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Why would a judge order him to stop doing that? And why are we giving free health insurance to illegals in the first place? Hello? A federal judge ordered that the nation's health department to stop giving deportation officials access to the personal information, including the home addresses of all 79 million Medicaid enrollees. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services first handed over the personal data of millions of Medicaid enrollees in a handful of states in June after an Associated Press report identified the new policy. 20 states filed a lawsuit to stop its implementation. Again, if my money is being taken and allocated to people for health insurance, that's one thing. But if you're going to take my money and allocate it for people's health insurance for people that shouldn't even be here, nah, that's not gonna fly with me. That's not how this goes down. Absolutely. I mean, this is just absolutely based by RFK Jr. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. I've said it once. I'll say it again. That's where I messed up. Said it once. I'll say it again. RFK Jr. may be the single best thing to come out of the Trump administration so far. I mean, this is just absolutely based. Incredibly based. Who else as HHS, the head of HHS, who else would be doing what RFK is doing on the grounds of food stamps, on the grounds of Medicaid data being shared with ICE, on the grounds of vaccines, the organ harvesting scandal? Like, there's so many things that RFK Jr. is just massive big wins. And look, I hope that they fight this. They absolutely should have access to this information, because if we're just giving this information to ICE isn't sharing it to anybody else, then okay, cool, all right. Literally all the information, if you're going to give it to ICE, the only people that ICE go after are people that aren't supposed to be here. So if you give ICE a list of people and they identify people that aren't supposed to be here, aka not even supposed to be on the list, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. There should be no issue. What's the issue here? So it says in July that the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services entered into a new agreement that gave the Department of Homeland Security daily access to view all the personal data, including Social Security numbers and home addresses of the nation's 79 million Medicaid enrollees. Neither agreement was announced publicly, nor should it be. It doesn't need to be. The extraordinary disclosure of such personal data to deportation officials in the Trump administration's far-reaching immigration crackdown immediately prompted the lawsuit over privacy concerns. The Medicaid data sharing as part of a broader effort by the Trump administration to provide DHS with more data on migrants. In May, for example, a federal judge refused to block the Internal Revenue Service from sharing immigrants' tax data with Immigration and Customs Enforcement to help agents locate and detain people living without legal status in the United States. Let's read that again. In May, for example, a federal judge refused to block. So they refused to block the Internal Revenue Service from sharing immigration tax data. So what that's saying there is that the IRS is currently working with ICE. The IRS is currently working with ICE to turn over all available information to help them find illegal immigrants, as all federal agencies should. Think about how stupid this is, right? You're a judge, right? And then you get this on your desk, and it's like, look, we have privacy concerns. We don't want this government agency sharing its information with other government agencies because we have privacy concerns. Sure, I get that. But think about it like this. If one government agency has proof of a crime being committed that is in the responsibility of another department, let's say, I don't know, HHS finds out that someone's committing tax fraud. Well, it's not HHS's responsibility to go after that, but HHS should absolutely turn over that information to the IRS so that IRS can go after people. Same thing here. If Medicaid and the HHS are getting these documents and they're like, oh, well, this guy's getting health insurance, but turns out they're not even a citizen. Well, it's not our department to deal with their citizenship status. We'll continue to provide insurance because that's the law for some of these states. We'll continue to provide insurance because that's all we can do. But we'll turn over the available information to the proper authorities. That's what should happen. There should be communication between the government agencies so that when a crime is committed and they have proof, you send it to the correct agency. That's what should happen. So I don't understand what's happening here, where a judge is like, oh, you have evidence of a crime being committed and your department isn't responsible for handling those crimes being committed. Well, don't send it to the place that is responsible. Don't do that. What? That doesn't make... Why would you block it from being sent to the places that are supposed to handle that crap? That doesn't make sense. Oh, we just got a new follower, the Dark Avenger. What's up, the Dark Avenger? How's it going? Yeah, guys, hey, make sure you go and subscribe on YouTube as well. There's a link down in the chat if you aren't already subscribed to YouTube. I believe there's also a link in the description if you're watching the video later on. Trying to get my numbers up on the YouTube, so help me out there, guys. But yeah, I think I've ranted on this long enough. Ridiculous story. I mean, why are federal authorities, or why is a federal judge looking to stop this? It's just that they want the country to be torn down. That's ultimately where I come to, is they just want the country to be torn down. What else can I say about it, really? What are you guys saying in the chat? Based. Yes. Yes, free Medicaid to illegals, but all illegals who sign up get reported to ICE. Money well spent. I support this idea. Yeah, I'm for that. Free Medicare for illegals, but all of their information is immediately sent to ICE. And they get free healthcare until ICE can get around to them. I'm fine with that. That's fair. I think everyone could agree with that. But free my workers, they do this because they don't want their new slave class to be deported. Absolutely. I was terminated from YouTube in 2016. Well, that's BS. Smash the like button, guys. We're 1 like away from the like goal. Smash that like button. And then I also, again, I fixed the Rumble rant goal, so now it's not some like crazy high number. We're back down to the low numbers. That's where I want to be. I think $20 is reasonable. You know, a $20 goal is reasonable. I'm not allowed to have a profile on YouTube anymore, or I'd follow you, Tyler. Damn. YouTube was terminated in 2016. I can't smash it any harder. Well, I mean, yeah, don't break your phone because then you can't watch. So be careful. Let's talk about this kind of funny. This is kind of a funny story. It's kind of like a backhanded story too, but the way it's titled, you know, it's a little misleading. Yes, absolutely. Let's go RFK. Big win for RFK as usual. That's not uncommon for him as of this year. Anyway. So, like I was saying, this story, it's a little misleading with the title, but we'll break it down. Let's break it down together. What am I breaking down? Well, what we're breaking down is Hillary Clinton, accordingly, she said that she would nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize if he helps broker a deal to end the Ukraine war. So let's clarify here, right? It's a little misleading. So Hillary Clinton said that she would nominate President Donald Trump for his long-awaited Nobel Peace Prize if he could broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine that did not capitulate to Russia President Vladimir Putin. And what she means by that, and ultimately what she means by that, is she would nominate President Trump if she could get peace in Ukraine and Russia, if Trump can make it to where Ukraine doesn't give up land. That's essentially what she says. Clinton, the former Secretary of State who once ran his campaign against Trump, issued her bold declaration on the Raging Moderates podcast to incentivize the president to not give in to Putin's demands. I understand from everything I read that he would very much like to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. This is according to Clinton. If he could end it without putting Ukraine in a position where it had to concede its territory to the aggressor or had to, in a way, validate Putin's vision of Greater Russia, but instead could really stand up to Putin, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize. So that's why I said it's a little backhanded, because she's literally like, look, I know it's literally impossible for you to end this war without ceding territory to Putin, but if you pull it off, I will personally nominate you for a Nobel Peace Prize. So it's a little bit of a backhanded comment, because, again, Democrats don't want the war to end, and as soon as if Trump does get a peace deal through and Ukraine has to give up some territory, I'm in favor of that, me personally. But you already know Democrats are going to be like, Trump's capitulating to Russia. Russia won the war. And you know what? Russia did win the war. We shouldn't have been involved, and Russia did win. It is what it is. And, it sucks to suck, I guess. It's like, what else do you add from there? Hillary is setting the stage to call it a bad thing if he gets peace. Yeah, exactly. Because she's going to be like, it's bad because he gave land to Russia. But it's like Russia took the land. Russia owns the land now. What do? I don't know. Guys. We're going to move on, though, because there wasn't a whole lot to add there. While we're moving on, let's see. Can I move on to... I can move on. We're moving on. I talked about gaming chairs. Now we're going to talk about gaming controllers. Are you ready to level up your game? Well, AIM Controllers is where custom meets unbeatable value, and right now, it's the best deal of the year. We start with the official Sony and Xbox controllers, fully compatible with console and PC, no functionality lost. Then you go wild with custom features, smart bumpers, paddles, grips, stick height, custom bumpers, even design your own PS5 snap panels. And here's the part that no one else is doing. Lifetime warranty on all modified parts. That's right, lifetime. What other company does that? Exactly. Normally, a fully loaded setup could run you $400, but during our one price promo, it's just $209 or $182. Got that goal. We're going to continue with the ad. It's just $209 USD or 182 European currency, no matter how many features you add. Use code RUMBLE at checkout and lock it in. This is your sign. Go to aimcontrollers.com and build the last controller you'll ever need. That's code RUMBLE. Thank you, guys. Anyway, And thank you guys for helping me hit the goal. We hit the like goal. Hell yeah. Always nice to hit that like goal. Really appreciate you guys. Let's go update that like goal so we have a new goal on screen. Really appreciate you guys. Let's move over. We'll put it up to 15. I think 15 is achievable. What do you guys think? Think 15 is achievable? Achievable. Got that stutter. Got that stutter in me. Celine Dion music in background. For just one like, you could support a small channel in need. Just one like could make the difference. Support those that support you. Celine Dion music stops. Thank you, killing it. I know he's not talking about this, but I want a Cyborg 2. Huh? Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing. Wrong, Rambo. He got the Nobel Peace Prize for the most drone strikes in a single U.S. presidential term. He got it for doing an airstrike on a U.S. citizen. Yeah, see, Wiggum got it. Trump could cure all diseases, and they would try to say it's a bad thing or racist or something. Well, see, Guido, it's bad because the medical industry is one of the largest industries in the United States. And if we were to cure all diseases, well, that industry would just disappear. And just think of the revenue lost. Just think about the debt increase on the United States. I know we're already in a massive debt, but just think about how quickly that would go up if we weren't getting the revenue from all these, cancer patients every year. I'm sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. Anyway, what else do I want to move on to? What other stories did I want to talk about? Let's see. What do I want to talk about? Let's talk about this. This was a pretty crazy story. I want to read about this. Before I do, let's see. The ones have spoken. So the shitty gov says the ones have spoken. That means you gotta go to the gym, brother. Not yet. Just finished my shake. Walking over now. There you go. So we got killing it. Heading over to the gym. Hell yeah. And then all right. I'm pretty sure I'm caught up on most of the chats. Of course, if you guys send in a Rumble rant, I'll pause and read your Rumble rants. But I will wait to continue reading the chat until after this story. Next story we're gonna talk about. This story is pretty freaking crazy. I mean, let's talk about it. So, the DOJ is now seeking the death penalty for Zizian cult member charged with the murder of Vermont Border Patrol agent. So it looks like prosecutors say Teresa Youngblood, 21 of Seattle, is part of the self-styled Zizians, a network of radicals bound by beliefs in veganism, transgenderism, artificial intelligence, and anarchist ideology. The Justice Department announced Thursday it will seek the death penalty for a Washington state woman accused of killing U.S. Border Patrol agent in Vermont, in what a federal official described as the latest example of radicalized cult-like groups' deadly violence. Prosecutors say Teresa Youngblood, 21 of Seattle, is part of the self-styled Zizians, a network of radicals bound by belief in veganism, transgenderism, artificial intelligence, and anarchist ideology. Members of the group have been linked to 6 murders across 3 states since 2022. So just in the past 4 years, guys, this group has been linked to 6 murders. So this is a violent group. Youngblood is accused of fatally shooting Border Patrol agent David Milland on January 20th, 2025, the same day President Donald Trump was sworn in for a second term and signed an executive order lifting the moratorium on federal executions. A federal grand jury in Vermont returned a superseding indictment Thursday, charging Youngblood with the murder of federal officer, the assault of 2 additional agents with a deadly weapon, and related firearm offenses. As alleged, this defendant shot and killed a United States Border Patrol agent while he was performing his duties, said Acting Assistant Attorney General Matthew R. Galetti. We will not stand for such attacks on the men and women who protect our communities and our borders. According to the court documents, the shooting occurred after a Border Patrol agent stopped a Toyota Prius on Interstate 91 in Coventry, Vermont. Youngblood was traveling with Felix Buchholz, a German national whose immigration status was under review. Days earlier, the pair had drawn attention after a hotel worker reported seeing them in tactical gear and possibly armed. On the day of the shooting, officers saw Buchholz in a Newport, Vermont parking lot wrapping unidentified objects in aluminum foil. I mean, okay, this story is pretty crazy. So it's saying here that someone, let's see, days earlier, the pair had drawn attention after a hotel worker reportedly had seen the couple in tactical gear and possibly armed. So it definitely seemed like this person was looking to commit violence even prior to this. During the traffic stop, prosecutors say Youngblood got out of the car and opened fire without warning, killing Agent Molland. Buckhall also reached for a weapon, but was killed in the ensuing shootout. Authorities recovered 2 semi-automatic pistols, a .40 caliber and a .380, linked to other members of the Zizians. Investigators say the Zizians formed around Jack Lasota, who identifies as transgender, also known as Ziz, whose online writings attracted young, highly skilled programmers with extremist views. Members have been implicated in the 2022 killing of a California landlord during a dispute of one of the group's members, and the 2023 murders of Richard and Rita Zhatko in Pennsylvania. Michael Zhatko, who identifies as trans non-binary and whose parents were the Pennsylvania victims, allegedly purchased the 2 guns found in Vermont. Zhatko is accused of supplying the weapons to Youngblood and is wanted for the killings in Pennsylvania. Wow. So yeah, no, this group is like a legitimate terrorist transgender group. Lasota and Zachgo were arrested together in Maryland earlier this year on weapons and drug charges, but Lasota, who faces additional federal counts, remains wanted in Pennsylvania after skipping multiple court appearances. So the actual cult leader, Lasota, is still on the run. He's still being sought by police. Attorney General Pam Bondi said that she had approved the death penalty in Youngblood's case. The notice of intent filed Thursday means prosecutors will seek the execution if Youngblood is convicted. The murder of federal agent is more than a tragic loss. The investigative division assistant director Jose Perez, it's an attack on the security of our nation and the safety of our communities. So I just want to go back and read here, and it says that she killed Agent Malan and another agent, Buckholt. So she killed 2 agents. Wow. I mean, that's just... unless I'm misreading. Let's see. Border Patrol agent in Vermont. What was his name? I'm trying to find his name now. According to the court documents, Border Patrol agent... Okay, Saw Buckholt and Newport. Interesting. Okay, so what I'm reading here though is that it's 2 people, unless I'm mixing it up and they're. I don't think they'd be switching names. Why would they say Agent Mullan and then go to Buckholt? So it's what I'm reading here is that she killed 2 people. She opened fire on 2 people. Lasota is probably in Omaha with the rest of the weirdos. Who knows, man? You could be in the sanctuary state of California. But yeah, absolutely crazy. And yes, people, like I was saying earlier, I mean, the overall theme of today has been law and order, justice, and rehabilitation. And if you can't rehabilitate a person like this, then yes, death penalty. The death penalty is absolutely warranted in this situation. This guy was just performing his duties as a law enforcement officer, and he's no longer alive today because of it. It's not fair. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to his family. All because of some deranged individual. It's not fair. Let's go ahead and move to the chat. We're gonna read what you guys are saying in the chat below before we move on to these other stories that I have pulled up for you guys today. What are you guys saying in the chat? Wiggum says that his work day is over, and he says, sorry, got in here late today. Please have a wonderful weekend, Tyler and chat, and remember, Jesus loves you, and I love all of you. Thank you, son of Wiggum. Really appreciate it, man. Nice. Now they just need an actual sentence, actually sentence them to death and not just give them the reputation. Exactly. These LARPers need a good old-fashioned ass kicking. Yeah, I agree. It kind of makes sense if you destroy your own life and body. What makes you think these lunatics won't destroy yours? Right. Tyler, when you're going to do a gathering of your own fans like Tim does, I want to go fishing on the ocean. I don't have enough fans, and I don't have enough money. So that you're looking at like maybe two years in the future. We'll think about stuff like that, all right? Let's build up the platform first, all right? You got first, if all 30 people were to share this video, share, like, and all that good stuff, you shared it to, if everyone shared to at least 3 people, I mean, I would double in size overnight. I'm just saying. I would double in size overnight. If all of you shared and got my name out there and tried to get me onto these other shows, and there's a lot of ways to support me, guys. You don't have to send in Rumble rants and stuff. Just sharing to people that you know, people that you know like listening to news, send me to them. Send me to them. That's the best way to support me. I think my kids follow you. LOL. Can be wait, what? Bring your own. I mean, it could. It just depends. But definitely something to think about later into the future. Let's see. What do I want to talk about next? We got this in the thumbnail. Might as well bring this up. Let's talk about this next story. Chinese state media calls on the U.S. Doesn't call on the U.S. They are calling the United States a surveillance empire. Excuse me. Let's try that again. Chinese state media calls U.S. a surveillance empire over trackers and chip shipments. I mean, it's just kind of, I wanted to bring this story up because it's absolutely ironic coming from China, who literally won't let their citizens view the internet outside of China. So it's just kind of funny. Basically, China's just upset that we won't let them have easy access to our chips. We started putting trackers in our shipments, so that way when we send it out, whoever we're sending it to, if they then reroute it to China, we know who did it. That's what the goal of this is. We're trying to figure out who's ignoring our bans to trade this stuff with China. Well, that's what we're trying to figure out so we can stop trading with them. The United States' practice of installing location trackers in shipments at risk of diversion to China reflects the instincts of a surveillance empire, China's state-run media outlet Xinhua said in a commentary published on Friday. Reuters reported earlier this week that U.S. authorities had secretly placed location tracking devices in targeted shipments of advanced chips to detect diversions to China, which is under U.S. curbs for advanced chip exports. Xinhua, in a commentary titled America Turns Chip Trades into a Surveillance Game, reports that Washington had embedded such trackers, accusing the United States of running the world's most sprawling intelligence apparatus. The U.S. government has, in the past few years, tightened the restrictions on the exports of advanced chips as well as related technology and equipment to China as the two superpowers vie for technological dominance. Yes, because we send things over to China, we give access to China, and then they reverse engineer it, use the technology for their own technology, and then don't share their technology back with us. So yes, we absolutely need to curb how much we are sharing with China because they don't share with us. So absolutely, I've always been in favor of blocking China off from our markets. So China can complain about it all they want. Keep crying. That's all I have to say about this. Keep crying, China. The U.S. government has tightened the restrictions on the exports of the advanced chips. China's commentary follows longstanding accusations from the Washington and its Western allies that China could use some exported products from telecommunication equipments to vehicles for surveillance, posing potential security risk. In 2022, the Biden administration banned the sale of import of new telecommunication equipment from several Chinese firms, including Huawei, citing national security concerns. In January, an intensified scrutiny by targeting China-made cars and trucks. Yes, because China is putting things in their cars and their technology so that they can spy on us here at home, and that's why you shouldn't have things like TikTok. Because technology is dangerous, and you don't know what they have access to when you have it on your device, or when you're using a device with their technology on it. And look, it was so bad to the point that even the Biden administration had to acknowledge, hey, let's not buy chips from China because they can use that against us. Even the Biden administration acknowledged that. So this is universal on both sides. This is a bipartisan effort. This is not a party thing. In its commentary, Xinhua accused the U.S. government of seeing its trading partners as rivals to be tripped up and taken down, adding that if the U.S. chips are seen as Trojan horses for surveillance, customers will look elsewhere. China's cyberspace watchdog last month said it had asked U.S. chipmaker NVIDIA to explain whether its H2O chips had any backdoor security risk, a hidden method of bypassing normal authentication or security controls. Chinese authorities have also cautioned domestic tech firms over their use of H2O chips, Reuters recently reported. So yeah, I mean, this goes for both sides. We're not using China's stuff. They're not using ours because we are at war. We're at war. We're looking to get through back doors into each other's stuff. And yeah, I don't necessarily blame them. Anyway, that was just a quick little story I wanted to bring up. It's just a little bit of a filler story to sprinkle in there. Let's see, what else do I have for you guys? Oh, here we go. This is one that Shitty Gov has been waiting for. I know Shitty Gov's been waiting for this. Oh, never mind. He has to wait another 5 minutes. You get to wait 5 more minutes. Sorry, Shitty Gov. You get to wait 5 more minutes for your cooler. I tried. 5 minutes though. Well, in those 5 minutes, I guess we could talk about this next story. What's next in the news? Oh, wait, before that, I should see if you guys had anything in the chat. What do you guys got? Let's see. My work day just ended as well. Nice. That's the pot calling the kettle black. Absolutely. I think China is just one big city walk from South Park. Just a giant city walk. Yeah, that's how I see China. I agree. All right. Let's talk about this absolutely crazy story. We've been talking about, having your children on the internet, and this is just another reason not to have your children on the internet, especially unfiltered and without supervision. Guys, Louisiana Attorney General is now suing Roblox, calling the platform, quote, the perfect place for PDF files. I mean, it really is. The lawsuit accuses the company of intentionally or recklessly designing a platform that allows millions of users to easily create accounts with fake birthdays. So they do have areas in this game that are supposed to be limited to younger individuals, but that doesn't always play out the way that you would think it does, because how do you verify that someone's underage? You just don't. It's infinitely easy to lie about that. Holy crap. Goal, here's your money, bitch. Hell yeah. Thank you, Killing It. We got $20 Rumble Rant from Killing It Sense. Our biggest fan in the chat. Killing It Sense is a very big supporter of TTN. Absolutely love the guy. He's in the chat every day giving me support. I really do appreciate it, man. I wouldn't be here without you guys. I mean, I probably would be. I would be. I'd still be talking about news, but to be able to talk about news with you guys here is just infinitely more enjoyable. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys really make everything so much more fun to talk about. Thank you again. Anyway, I want to get back to the news. Moving up in the world. Thank you. I really appreciate it, guys. Let me update that goal so we have a new goal up on the board. But wait. Is it gonna sound? Okay, I need it to, when it updates, I'll update it myself. And we hit the like goal again. Oh man, you guys are crazy. You guys are killing it today. The support's amazing. Yeah, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. We'll restart on this story. That threw me off track a little bit. We'll restart on this. Let me change everything. Okay, we're gonna go from 20. We'll just bump it up to 30. Because I wasn't expecting to hit the goal. We're already towards the end of the show. Thank you again so much. Thank you so much. Here, let me get that goal alert for you, Killing It. Since you wanted to hit that goal, here's your alert for you, buddy. Hell yeah! All right. Let's get back to this, because this is a serious story. Let's talk about it, guys. So, Louisiana Attorney General sues Roblox, calling the platform the perfect place for PDF files. The lawsuit accuses the company of intentionally or recklessly designing a platform that allows millions of users to easily create fake accounts with fake birthdays. And yeah, I mean, it's infinitely easy to lie about this stuff. You can't prove a child's age. There's no way to do that. It's infinitely easy to lie about that stuff. And Killing It gifted a subscription. Hell yeah, it looks like Monster Mangler got that gifted subscription. That was breaking news, guys. And we hit the other goal. Oh man, Killing It's really trying to support me today. Thank you, man. Man, he's just trying to throw me off. That's what he is. He's trying to throw me off the story. We gotta keep talking about this story though. Thank you. But Killing It's absolutely just killing it today. He's living up to the name. So Louisiana's top prosecutor sued the popular online gaming platform Roblox on Thursday, alleging that its failure to implement strong safety protocols for children has made it a perfect place for pedophiles. The suit, filed by Attorney General Liz Murrill in Louisiana's 21st Judicial District, accused the California-based company of intentionally or recklessly designing a platform with no age verification process, allowing Roblox tens of millions of users to easily create accounts with fake birthdays. So for those of you that aren't online, haven't grown up with the internet, or just don't know what Roblox is it's a gaming site. I would liken it to what Fortnite is today. If you go on Fortnite today, you have multiple different game modes that are created by the community, and that's what Roblox is. Roblox is essentially a gaming site where people make their own games, and it's largely tailored towards children. But are children making the games? No, it's typically teenagers and adults that are making these games, or just the Roblox company itself making these games. So what you end up with is a bunch of children playing game modes created by adults. And then adults are also on these sites, and Roblox has done some things to try to mitigate the communication between adults and children. It's just too easy to bypass. It's too easy to bypass. The only true answer to this is banning children from the internet, because locking a space down to minors only is impossible, because you can just lie about your age. There's no verification process to prove that you're under 13. There is a verification process to prove that you're 16, 18, 21. You show an ID, but there's no ID for showing that you're under 13. So you don't. There's no way to prove that. So they have gone through some measures like blocking links and stuff like that from being shared in the chat, but that doesn't stop people from saying, hey, look me up on so-and-so website, here's my username, or here's my phone number, use this to message me. Like, there's other ways to get around it. It's the internet. People will always find a way. So it's absolutely not a place for children. Even though the game is tailored for children, the current state of the game is not for children. Absolutely not. It's like some of the stuff is graphic on there. I mean, just think of all the memes when all that stuff with Diddy and like the baby lotion stuff was going on. They were making game modes on Roblox about Diddy parties, and then there would be a guy going around as Diddy, snatching people and doing things to them. Like, literally a game mode on Roblox. Like, it's not a place for children. It's absolutely not a place for children. Launched in 2006, Roblox has a sprawling catalog of games and experiences, many of which are designed by users and include real-time messaging. According to the company's 2024 to 2025 annual report, 20% of the platform's 82 million active users were under the age of 9. Roblox is overrun with harmful content and child predators because it prioritizes user growth, revenue, and profits over child safety. Every parent should be aware of the clear and present danger to their children by Roblox so that they can prevent the unthinkable from ever happening in their own home. The 42-page suit points to a raft of sexually explicit experiences that have been on the platform, including Escape to Epstein Island, there's the one I mentioned, Diddy Party, and Public Bathroom Simulator Vibe. What? These are actual games in Roblox. These are actual game modes known as experiences. Some of these game modes include Escape to Epstein Island, Diddy Party, Public Bathroom Simulator Vibe. Like, what the hell? And it alleges that a man arrested on suspicion of possessing child sexual abuse material in Louisiana last month was using the platform at the time he was taken into custody. Yeah, I bet. The man had used voice-altering technology to mimic the sound of a young female to lure sexually exploit minors on the platform. The suit, which alleges unfair trade practices and negligence and unjust enrichment, does not specify damages but seeks a permanent order barring Roblox from violating the state's Unfair Trade Practices Act or promoting its safety features as inadequate, which the suit says it routinely does. In other news, also according to Roblox, it seems just like yesterday that we reported on a government-mandated Roblox ban across the entire country of Qatar. Probably because that was just yesterday. So you have this from The Gamer. An entire country just abruptly banned Roblox. The entire country of Qatar has banned Roblox directly because of the issues with child exploitation. And this follows Turkey, who just over a year ago also banned Roblox. And then it goes on to talk about it's the latest in a years-long saga surrounding the platform's perceived security shortcomings, which have previously prompted YouTuber Schlepp to commit to vigilante justice. Until just a few days ago, that is, when Schlepp suddenly found himself banned for his actions. Roblox Corporation CEO David Baszucki, okay, that's an interesting name, had been in the media's hot seat for it, and following an activist social media campaign, the country of Qatar has taken to banning Roblox entirely. So, what are we talking about here? So, not only is Roblox allowing children to get predatorized by these disgusting people. We have the entire country of Qatar now banning Roblox, but this is following the news just yesterday that the Roblox CEO is now being called upon to resign after sending a cease and desist letter to online predator hunter. What predator hunter? Schlep. The YouTuber named Schlep used to use Roblox to lure pedophiles into getting their information and then getting arrested by law enforcement. YouTuber Schlep claims his investigations have led to 6 arrests of individuals attempting to groom minors on Roblox. Roblox chief executive is now facing a wave of fury after his company sent a cease and desist letter to a YouTuber known for exposing alleged child predators on the online gaming platform. The Roblox Corporation reportedly issued a legal complaint last week to a 22-year-old content creator known as Schlep, who reviewed this in a YouTube video. The chief executive on the platform is founder David Baszucki. I mean, that's just a perfect name. Sharing the full cease and desist letter on X, the company's lawyers cited violations such as simulated child engagement and sharing personal information. They argued that such actions bypassed official moderation channels. Schlep, a self-styled predator hunter who has over 767,000 YouTube subscribers, had all associated Roblox accounts terminated in the high-profile conflict with the company. In return, Schlep, who claims his investigation led to 6 arrests of the individuals attempting to groom minors on Roblox, accused the company of repeatedly ignoring evidence presented by him and other vigilante streamers. In his video, Schlep alleges that his motivations stem from the personal experiences having been groomed as a child on the platform, which he said led to a suicide attempt. The Independent has approached Schlep for a comment to seek verification of his claims. Schlep also claimed that Baszucki blocked him on X. Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna has launched an online petition against Roblox, accusing the platform of insufficient child safety measures. He hopes to garner 1 million signatures by Friday. Roblox is simply not doing enough to protect our children, to inform parents, and to go after child predators. So instead of going after child predators and making it more difficult for them to use their platform, instead they're sending cease and desist letters to victims who are now going after the predators that victimize them. This YouTuber Schlep said that he nearly committed suicide because of a grooming incident that happened on Roblox. And because of that incident, he is now taken to go after these people on his own, and he's now being sent cease and desist letters by the company. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. It seems like Roblox just wants to defend pedophiles, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. That's just an opinion. That is not a fact. That is my opinion. And that is an opinion I hold based on evidence that I've read. So, if you want to sue me over that, go fuck yourself, Roblox. Come find me. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next story because that story just pissed me off. I want to move to this story here as we start to wind things down. We're going to start talking about DC and news stories in DC. So it looks like we have this. There's literally a company, guys. Before we move on to these DC stories, I do want to read your guys' chats. What are you guys saying in the chat? Can we Uno reverse card the pedos on Roblox? Like we, instead of meeting a child, you're actually meeting 6 feet of justice in a trench coat and Punisher mask, asking for a friend. Yeah, seriously. Sick of shitty gov. There are many who do that and set these people up to get locked up. Yes, and I'm glad that they do. You should go follow Alex Rosen on Twitter. Yeah, I've watched Chris Hansen's show. I went to the ending. I want the ending to be graphic, though. Same amount of crying, but less jail. I joke, but also seriously, dads need to make a great comeback. If more dads took revenge for this behavior, maybe the pedos wouldn't be bold enough to do these things. Exactly. Shitty Gov's absolutely right. Sick individuals like this will target families where there's no father present. They do it purposefully. Tyler with Honey Badger energy. Hell yeah. Oh, dude, always. Tyler, I don't want to get you in trouble, so don't read my comments if you don't want to. I will always read your comments if I want to. I don't joke, but maybe a little with the severity of what I say. For the most part, I am serious about the death penalty for these sick people. I agree, man. Life in prison is one thing, because like obviously I want them to sit with the disgusting things that they've done. But if they're not sorry for what they did, yeah, death penalty. There's no reason for them to sit and reminisce over the disgusting things they did and have joy about having done it. Just end their life. Just end their life. If there's actual remorse behind that, maybe we could just let them rot in prison and live with that remorse. But if there's no remorse behind their actions, just get rid of them. Just end them. They don't need to be around. There's nothing benefits us by having them around. Anyway, let's move on to this next story. I don't know if you guys know this, but I mean, this shouldn't come as a surprise to really any of you that are paying attention to the news and politics. But protesters are paid for. You have literal companies that you can pay for protesters. So whenever you're wondering, oh, the left just doesn't work. How does the left get out and protest? They don't. They don't. Neither does the right. I mean, no one actually goes out and protests. The people you see getting out and protesting, they're bought and paid for, which makes a lot of sense. Who's going to get up at 7 in the morning and go and protest if they're not being paid to do so? Especially in this economy. Crowds on Demand CEO provides insight as paid protester requests up 400% under Trump. CEO Adam Swart claims that there's no such thing as a truly organic protest while defending peaceful demonstration services. So literally his group, you can pay his group for protest. That's literally what's happening here. And I'm not going to read the story because we already knew that protests are bought and paid for. It's just funny. So the next time you see a protest, you just have to ask yourself, is it real? Is it even a real protest? Or did these people just get handed money to go stand out there? The answer may not surprise you. Move to the next story because we're going to start wrapping things up here. Advocacy group CEO claims that he was offered $20 million to recruit protesters for anti-Trump demonstrations. CEO admits to rejecting his offer because demonstrations would make us look. CEO admits rejecting offer because the demonstrations would make us all look bad, as 1,500 events planned across the country. The CEO of an advocacy group said his organization turned down an officer that he said would have been worth around $20 million to help recruit for a national rally against President Donald Trump. National. They were going to have a national rally against President Trump. Like, they're fake, guys. All these protests are fake. The next time you see people marching through the streets, it's fake. And it's so that the real protesters, the revolutionaries more like, basically what this is you pay a bunch of people to go stand around, and then the real people, the real revolutionaries, go and stand with the crowd and then start committing violence. But it's the diversity of tactics, so the people that are paid to stay there just stay and don't add to it, but then they hide and block and defend the people that are actually being violent. That's just how it works. But, it's okay because Pam Bondi has now stripped the authority from D.C. Police Chief Nix's Capital Sanctuary City policies. Commissioner Cole shall have the authority to issue any general orders, executive orders, or other written directives that apply to members of the MPD. So the Metropolitan Police Department now falls under the Commissioner Cole, who is a part of the DEA. So basically, a commissioner with the DEA is now in charge of the MPD, which is good. The Metropolitan Police Department chief, she was complaining about this action. I just find it kind of funny that you would complain about the chain of command being altered, considering a week ago, she didn't even know what the chain of command was or is. Literally, there's video of this police chief right here. I forgot to pull it up. There's video of her being asked questions by reporters, and one of the questions had to do with the chain of command because of Donald Trump coming in and taking federal authority over the city. She literally asked the reporter, what does that mean? She needed to have someone explain what chain of command is. So I just find it kind of ironic that she's now upset that the chain of command has been altered, considering a week ago she didn't even know what the chain of command was. I just find it funny. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, but yeah, so federal government's taking more control over the local government. Big wins there, big wins. The local government needs to be under federal control. It never should have been put under a separate control. The federal government should have control over D.C., whether it's a Republican in office or not. The president should have full power over the city. It just makes sense. I don't know why he wouldn't. But the other story that I really wanted to, the main story I wanted to pull up today for you guys is this story right here. DC gun permit wait is now being slashed from months to days as Trump's crime crackdown continues. So guys, as one of the measures to lower crime in the city, they're literally making it easier for you to have a concealed carry permit. I mean, that's a big win. That's a really big win right there for DC and for law-abiding citizens. So I love it. I love it. And all I have to say is, please, Trump, can you federalize California next? Please? Maybe? Huh? Maybe? Yeah? Huh? No? No? Okay. Well, I tried. Anyway, we're going to move on. Those are the stories that I have for you guys today. What do I have lastly for you guys? Well, lastly, I have the ad that I was supposed to read for Shitty Gov. I'm going to read it now. So let me read this ad for you, Shitty Gov, and then we'll play you guys out with some music. Send you guys over to Sean. I guess Sean is playing some video games today instead of talking about news, so you guys can look forward to some Vidjima games. I don't know what he's playing, but we'll check that out. But we got this ad. All right, outdoor crew, if you're into fishing, camping, or getting off the grid, meet your new best friend, the Hunter Orange 25-quart cooler from Caddis Sports. This isn't your average cooler. It's roto-molded for max durability, bear-proof, and 20% lighter than other brands. So it's easy to haul whether you're deep in the backcountry or just setting up on the dock. You'll get up to 3 days of ice retention thanks to the thick high-performance insulation that means cold drinks, fresh food, and fewer ice runs. Whether you're chasing muttons offshore or posted up at a campsite, best part, it's 40 to 50% cheaper than the big-name coolers, but still built to perform season after season. And like all Caddis Sports name brand gear, it's proudly made in the USA. Use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% off your order today. That's caddissports.com. Go grab the Hunter Orange 25-quart cooler and keep your next adventure ice cold. That's caddissports.com. Code RUMBLE. There we go, guys. We got that ad in there. And guys, I've been waiting for the opportunity to add this, and I'm going to add it here because it talked about having a bear-proof cooler. Did you guys know that there is a very, very thin line between making something bear-proof and also human-proof? Hear me out. Let me explain it. Bears are incredibly smart and incredibly strong, and they are able to use, they don't quite have opposable thumbs, but they kind of can. So it's incredibly difficult when creating something bear-proof to not also make it stupid-proof. What I mean by that is it's very difficult for a lot of these parks and these national parks to make a trash can that is not able to be used by bears, but is still able to be used by the average idiot. It's hilarious. It's just something to think about. It's just really funny to think about that there are some trash cans that have to be made to prevent bears that are so good at preventing bears that it also prevents some actual humans. Because that's just how life is, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna start wrapping things up here. We're gonna start moving things on. Did you guys like the show today? Because I had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun on the show today. I'm glad we can get through it together. Big thank you to my biggest fan, Killing It Sense. Always glad to have him hanging around. We're gonna send everybody over to Sean's Eye View. Looks like he's playing Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0. So is that the first Resident Evil? I don't know. But it looks like he's playing Resident Evil 7, so I'm going to send you guys over to that way. But you know what we get first? You know what you guys get first? I'm giving you guys some music. Later, guys. We're wrapping it up with some Tyler Today News rap. Later, guys. Here's the rap.
On the block, global translation, world on fire, smoke stack in the sky, truth in the mic, no filters apply, cameras rolling, headlines in the street, talking about the struggle where the pavement meets, from boardrooms to alleys, tales unfold, script flip quick, world stories retold.
Tyler Today, keep the truth on blast, breaking down the chaos, future to past, microphone away. weapon, fighting the lies, broadcast the real, no disguise. Storms overseas, typhoons taking names, economies crumble, point fingers in blame. Politicians talk, but the people scream. Tyler today, dissect the dream.
Satellites humming, beams in the air, eyes on the world, truth laid bare. Ink on the paper, pixels on the screen. The stories we live, the moments between. Rooftop reports, war zones in the lands. Global connections, news never ends. Tyler today, a mirror to the land. Mic in the hand, truth we demand.